Shalom, brothers and sisters. Shalom, brothers and sisters. Not going to be long. Have a presentation to do tonight. But I wanted to take the time out now to go live for a brief second, brothers and sisters. And the point, brothers and sisters, in going live in this particular case and in this particular aspect is because the self-esteem among Israelite women is shot. Now, when I say, brothers and sisters, Israelite women, though we know good and well and understand that the children of Israel were people of color, and we know that for the majority of our people, black people, we know are the true Israelites. Now, when I say, brothers and sisters, that the Israelite women's self-esteem is what it is, shot, I'm not talking about black women in general. I'm talking about the women who teach, believe, feel, and understand they should not be married, cannot be married, would not be married. The teaching that says they have no place or no voice or anything of that kind of sort. Brothers and sisters, if we know good and well that the word Torah means teaching or instruction, right? That is the case. I have it on the opposite way. Pardon that. If we know good and well, right, that the word Torah means teaching or instruction, right? And it says about the Torah, meaning instruction, the law of kindness is upon her tongue, says in Proverbs 31. You know, there are Israelite sisters who do have we as brothers, men in Israel, show our sisters don't wear pants, but then not supporting the sisters or the brothers that even make garments in many cases. What have we shown? Be silent. Be silent is what you tell children when you don't want them to speak. Be silent is what you tell somebody when you don't want them to expose something about you. Be silent is what you hope certain things will be when you don't want certain things to come out. That's when being silent is. Brothers and sisters, how is it that the Israelite women, and I want to emphasize when I say Israelite women, I'm not in this case talking about black women in general. How do you look saying you're not a queen without understanding the Hebraic aspect of such? Melech is king from the root word malak, which means to rule. So therefore, the feminine also will be malcha or milka. You understand? But instead of looking from a Hebraic aspect or trying to find out what great names that Sarah, Rebecca, Leah, Esther, Hudla were called, the teaching seems to be women be silent. Brothers and sisters, you cannot have an Israel in many cases is disorganized without understanding the feminine role and the feminine play within it. It seems as if among Israel, it's like trial and error to sit there and see what it can be, what it should be, and so forth and so on. The daughters of Zion, were not like the Egyptian women. That's what Exodus says. It says the daughters of Israel feared the Most High, so the Most High made them houses. It says the wise-hearted women who did the work concerning the service of the tabernacle. Brothers, I remember being shown, for instance, the word queen means a whore from the Old English or from the Norse. We're not the Old English. We're not the people of Norse or whatever in the world. We're the children of Israel. So being that we have our own identity and thus our own name, language, and culture, why would you not go into the Hebrew? I'll tell you why. It's because it takes time to learn Hebrew. It takes time to get your pen, your paper, your pad, take notes. But if you already taught that you must remain silent, you're never going to see the benefit in sitting in the class to learn. After all, you could do nothing but be quiet anyway. This is the mentality that has happened. So when sisters come into the understanding of Israel, if they are about getting things done, they don't see that kind of thing within many cases in camps and among many cases within Israel or Israel among the sisters in many cases. Then the sisters who are about getting things done, they get disenchanted and don't want to be around and then make a move on somewhere else. And then she's the bad person in the eyes of the camp, the congregation, and so forth and so on. It's a game played, brothers and sisters. You understand? So this is something we want to talk about and expound upon for edification purposes. We're not going to, as stated, be long, brothers and sisters, but the nation, if you will, cannot continue with the same mundane, low self-esteem. We ain't worth, you know what, kind of mentality among sisters. When a sister speaks upon not teaching, not realizing what teaching in Hebrew culture is, you understand? That is a sad situation. The prophets taught. Are we going to say that prophets did not teach? Is your status as a said more or a teacher infringed upon if a woman is teaching? When you say that there's a king and a prince and princess, what you just said about the feminine principle, just forget that all the way together. The Most High did not say so. In Proverbs, this is what's provoking me, if I want to use provoking, or this is what made me do this video. How do you say, knowing it says in Proverbs 1, forsake not the teaching, the Torah of your mother, and then say, oh, that's not the word of Yah. You just disqualified your whole book because you feel as a female, you can't sit there and do anything. Somebody typed in sad state of affairs. We're going to keep the language clean. Brother Dora, it's beyond sad. It's another word starting with an F, but we ain't going to use that language because of the way this channel has been run. It's an F state of affairs because these are the mothers of an everlasting nation. These are the females that we're supposed to want to be with. But then when brothers who are weak-minded and go to Becky, which we'll never do, then it'll be a thing of, well, they're selling out. Now they're talking. You don't talk. You stay silent. Then when the brother sells out, then you got everything to say. That's why it's confusion. You understand? Our people, and I want to say this, Israel, the Israelite male is the only male. When I say Israelite, I'm not talking black males in general, whom we know our people are the true house of Israel. I'm saying that it is the Israelite male that only shows women of other nations to the daughters of Zion. It is in general black women with the swirling thing who want to show that they want to be with everybody on the earth, but they don't even know themselves, say, as the daughter of Zion. But the sons of Zion, which is supposed to be your limitations compared to gold, brothers and sisters, are the only males on earth, on and offline. Misunderstanding, Numbers 118. You are the seed of your fathers. What is the point in your fathers having daughters if your friend, another Israelite brother, is not going to want to marry her? Israelite men, sadly, have taken the place, whether you call this white man, Esau, Edom, Japhet, Cain, Gehazi, whatever you call those people. Many of us have taken the position of that man against our sisters. And when you're dealing with, as in this case, as this video is presenting, the self-esteem being shot. Oh, I must submit. I must be humble. It's an act. It's bull. You feel me? It's an act. That's not who you are in reality. It distinctly says the daughters of Israel are not like the daughters of Mizraim. For the daughters of Israel are lively. The Hebrew or the Hebrew women are lively. Not, I must submit and be humble. You know what? That whole submissive with the misunderstanding comes into play. The Torah, and we're going to keep it 100 with that. The Tanakh, the Torah, does not tell women to submit to men. It does not say so. It does not tell men to submit to women. Israel is supposed to submit to the Most High. That's the commandment. The only time a woman was told to submit to another human was when Hagar was told to submit to Sarah. But that's the same thing we do on our jobs. We submit to the employer. I'll be there on time. I'll deal with some of the stuff that I don't like to deal with because it's a job still. But we shouldn't have to deal that way with our own brothers and sisters. You should not treat your brothers and sisters the same way the employer treats you at yours. This is why I say we have taken on the place of the white man against our own. And I'm talking about Israel. I'm not talking about the Rodney and the Nicole who may not understand who the Most High is. How can such that sad state of affairs? First, it takes somebody asked that. I would like to give an answer, please. Toda for the question. Humility, respect, understanding, long suffering. The qualities that Exodus says of the Most High, and we're being made in his image. Israel is anointed of the Most High. It says, touch not my anointed. So the understanding that some have, well, if you're in an abusive relationship, you're not supposed to get a divorce, so I'm just going to sit there through everything else. No, Israel, no, that's not the way. You understand? Brothers and sisters, the Hebrew women, as you saw, and Miriam taking the tremble and playing the music and singing the song and so forth and so on. She was not disrespecting her man by saying, I can't go nowhere. I have absolutely no kind of mind of my own. That's not the movement and the style that Miriam, the prophetess, was coming with. Isaiah's wife was called a prophetess. Huldah, the prophetess, in the time of King Josiah. Josiah was not henpecked. He sent men to go and talk to a female who was a prophetess to understand what the Most High will say and what the Most High will have to be. Maybe some of the things that we should try to teach. It's going to be a part 2. I'm going to say shalom now because I got to go back to my Zoom. Shalom. Most I bless.